Hey family, it is Netta back at you with Black Lives Count. I have missed you guys so much, and I hope you have missed me as well. I have been working, family. It is what it is. I can't help it. It's soon and very soon. I am praying that I will be able to do this full time with you. I am investing in that. I'm going to make it happen for you. So family, anyway, let us go ahead on and get on with this video. So today I want to discuss this Iran, Trump, Israel, war that's going on, that they're not calling a war, okay? So we heard that there was gonna be a ceasefire, or there is currently a ceasefire. However, why Lebanon is not included in that ceasefire, I have no idea. But so there's to be a ceasefire ongoing right now, and now we're not sure if there's still a ceasefire. I mean, this is the most incredible thing I have ever witnessed. This is nothing but confusion. And I understand that war usually can breed confusion, and, just things not being done, I don't know, in a traditional manner. But, America has not been doing some of its traditional things for a minute now, right? Okay. So what we're going to read about it, family. I wanted to wipe off my glasses so I can see better. So we're going to read a snippet from an article, and it is the New York Times, okay? And this was a recent one. In fact, this was done in the last 30 minutes. They uploaded this. So it says, Iran war live update. Ceasefire tested by confusion over Strait and strikes on Lebanon. Even as the status of the Strait of Hormuz remained unclear, and U.S. and Iranian officials issued dueling threats to resume attacks if the ceasefire fell apart, both countries had reason to hope that it held together. The day-old ceasefire between the United States and Iran has been tested on Wednesday by uncertainty over the status of the economically vital Strait of Hormuz and disagreement over whether the truce applied to Lebanon, where Israel continued to carry out punishing attacks. So now Israel, okay, so this is in my understanding of how conflicts are handled. If a ceasefire is called, wouldn't that mean all parties involved in the dispute ceasefire? But Israel says that they're not ceasing fire on Lebanon. So they'll keep us continued in this, again, they're not calling it a war, dispute. They'll keep us in this dispute because they are not good bargaining people, okay? Because that's what it is, okay? Israel are not being good bargainers, because if they were being good bargainers, as well as the United States, they would sit down and discuss rationally the terms and the outlines of the ceasefire, which should have been done when they put it together. But see, unfortunately, this is confusion. And I know many of you will say, well, yeah, Netta, I mean, in war, it's always going to be confusion. Well, that is true. However, even in war, there can still be a certain amount of understanding and knowledge as far as understanding your enemy, what they are capable of doing, what you are capable, your enemy understanding what you are capable of, and vice versa, and so on. But to not have a clear and concise conversation when they decided to come to the table, and I don't know, it's not a lot of smart apples over in the bunch over there. It's not. And when I say that, I'm talking about America and Israel. There's just not a lot of smart apples in the bunch that's running everything. It's not. Because, this is something that where people are, many people have been already unalived. So people are being unalived by the day. So it would be, you would think it would be important enough to get all of the understanding and agreements understood and documented so that they could go ahead and do a ceasefire. That's if that's really what they want. And it's starting to look more and more like that's not really what America and Israel wants, is a ceasefire. So anyway, it says, here's the latest. The day-old ceasefire between the United States and Iran. Now it's just the United States and Iran. Do you understand how they have completely removed Israel? Isn't the reason that we're even in this situation, isn't it about Israel? At least that's what we were told in the beginning, and that's what I heard. You got to pay attention, people. You have to pay attention. Anyway, it says, Iran, which said Lebanon was included in the ceasefire, accused the United States of not upholding its end of the deal. And Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, said Washington had to choose between a ceasefire or continued war via Israel and cannot have both. And honestly, what is he saying that is wrong? Exactly what he is saying is exactly as the way it should be. But unfortunately, black family, because the only reason this concerns us is because we are unfortunately right now in this situation with this group of people. Okay, that's just it. And so as that, we have to move accordingly. You understand what I'm saying? And we really do. We have to move accordingly. We have to know that, steps that we're going to take. And so now you understand you can't go off of what this government is saying. Okay, you're going to have to get your news elsewhere and your information, because this system is not giving accurate information. It's just not. Because to me, it would only seem feasible that all of these things would have been worked out at the onset of the discussions for the ceasefire. And a lot of liberals would equate this to the Republicans being in office and Trump being the head of the Republicans. But I want to tell you something. That's not the case. That's not the case. And what it is they're under judgment. And when the scriptures say he is going to give them a strong sense of delusion, tell me they don't have delusion. Tell me you don't see it and can tie into it what the scripture said versus what we are seeing occurring right here and right now. This is why who is in office is in office. Because it's supposed to be that way. And so many of us are fighting against this system instead of just sitting alongside and enjoying the ride. We fighting tooth and nail instead of letting these people get their justice. I don't know what to say. We have to understand and allow America to reap its benefit of what it has done. Its punishment, its justice, its karma. And it's time for Black Americans to stand back. I'm going to be real, and a lot of us just don't think this far. If you can honestly, as a Black American, tell me what just voting Democrat or just voting Republican has done for you personally, your family, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it in the comments. You know, I have people that say, well, I voted Republican, and no, I'm sorry. I changed that. I voted Democrat, and they gave me X amount of dollars for my business. I hear some Republican Black people say the same thing. So if you're voting on a party, not so much sometimes policies, but a party because of what you think is only going to do and benefit for your household, we have to understand we're defeating a purpose. Because, you know, we can take that much energy and time and we can pour it into ourselves and, you know, focus on our own politics. The politics of the Black foundational Black community. The politics of building our community economically. Because in my opinion, that's what we should be focused on anyway. Because as we continue to focus on the politics of America, then you are putting your belief into the American system. And so you just continue to live in that matrix. Because that's what's happening. We have to have some hard discussions as foundational Black America. And we have to be real with ourselves. We can't say we want to be independent and then say we can't live without this white man's systems. We need to cut it off completely and just only depend on us. And if we can't do it here, then we may have to go somewhere else. Because you got to be real. This is a country and a government and a system that we cannot trust. And we've not had very good engagement and interaction with this system and this government. We've not. And as far as I'm concerned, America is a short-lived dynasty that is going down rapidly. And if the drivers of it can't see it, but we can see it. And so this is when we need to be detaching ourselves from this system instead of going down with the ship. Because a lot of our people are going to go down with the ship because they don't want to wake up. Remember the guy remember the movie The Matrix? And the guy, and I can't remember his name, but he said, he was one of Morpheus's guys, Lawrence Fishburne, and he said, if Morpheus had told him exactly what was going to happen to him, he would have chosen to stay asleep. So rather than take the red pill, he would have taken the blue pill, or however it went. There are people amongst us that are not going to want to wake up and leave the matrix. And so we have to be prepared, whether they are family, whether they're friends and loved ones, or just acquaintances. It's not going to matter. We're going to have to be prepared to walk away. So family, I thank you so much. This is a really serious conversation that we're going to have. And because we obviously don't know where this is going, in what direction this is going with America and Israel and this Iran situation. And even true that Russia and China and North Korea has not gotten directly involved, they are inadvertently involved because they're giving tips to Iran on how to fire and where to fire on American stealth planes and the bases and everything that they destroy. So they're giving help and coordinates and things like that. So they may not be giving them or helping them with nuclear capabilities, but they're showing very early on who they're aligning with. And I can't be mad at anybody for choosing whoever people choose, okay? But I know who we got to choose. And as foundational Black Americans, it's time for us to choose ourselves. And it's time for us to choose our community and to do what our ancestors did and build. And move past all of the pain, all of the hurt, all of the anger, all of the grievances, all of the disagreements with every community. We don't care. Keep it moving. And it's time for us to just build. Because, the time is short. It really is. The time is very short. So I thank you, family, again for coming and listening. And I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking about the situation too. I know one thing that we should not be in any angst. We should not have any anxiety. We should not have a stress or worry or anything, a care, a concern. We shouldn't even be worried about. We should only be listening, observing, gathering information, and building. Because a lot of us think we're not leaving here, but I'm going to tell you, I think we are. I think some of y'all better start reading them scriptures. I think we are going to have to leave here. I'm just saying, at least I know I am. All right, family. Peace, love, and blessings to you all. Love you all. See you all next time. And Black Power. All right, babes. Bye.